Hello everyone, my name is Saurav Tripathi and welcome to the Current Affairs Interceptor YouTube channel. Today is April 29 and we are going to learn very important current affairs for your exam preparation. So let's start. First, green hydrogen multi-purpose project has been launched in Himachal Pradesh by NTPC Green Energy Limited, Rural Electrification Corporation, SJVN or Adani Green Energy Limited. So it is SJVN. SJVN means Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam Limited and it is headquartered in Himachal Pradesh. It is joint venture between Himachal Pradesh government and central government. It has started first multi-purpose project Nathpa Jhakri power project which is in Himachal Pradesh and it will produce green hydrogen. This green hydrogen will be used for fuel coating as well as power generation. So this is why it is called multi-purpose project, because it will do two work: fuel coating and power generation. Nathpa Jhakri power project first produce green hydrogen and this green hydrogen will be used for two purposes. First is fuel coating and second is power generation. That is why it is called multi-purpose project. SJVN, it is one of the oldest power generation company in India. It was established in 1988 and it works in international countries, international markets such as of Nepal and Bhutan. It has expertise in hydropower generation and it works with their respective regional power companies to build dams and various hydropower projects. It has also diversified its operation and it has invested into multiple other projects such as wind power and solar power as well. So this is all about SJVN and it is Himachal Pradesh government's. It is headquartered in Himachal Pradesh and it is joint venture between Himachal Pradesh and central government. Nathpa Jhakri power project will produce green hydrogen and it will use as multi-purpose in two ways. First is fuel coating and second is power generation. The largest power station in India is Vindhyachal power station and it is Madhya Pradesh. It produces electricity at capacity of 4760 megawatt, which is very high. And second one is Mundra power plant, which produces around 4600 megawatt of electricity. So these are one of the biggest power projects. Vindhyachal power project produces largest amount of electricity, which is 4760 megawatt, followed by Mundra projects which is 4600 megawatt. Bias Watch is a agency has released gender gap study and found that percent of women are total in faculty of 98 surveys universities so far. Please remember this, there is a mismatch in option and don't read it 15.5 but 13.5%. So Bias Watch India report says that only 13.5% are women out of total faculty present out of 98 surveyed university. So total faculties 13.5% is all about women we have as a faculty. This is a very big gender gap and it shows in under representation. Gender gap represent in countries such as US and UK as well, but this is a severe gender gap. This gender gap is very high and in all fields there were 13.5% of women as a faculty only, and this gap is very high in engineering domains where around 9.6% of women 9.2% of women are as faculty out of total surveyed universities. So gender gap is very high in engineering domains as well. So this is all about Bias Watch India report and it shows the gender gap scenario as a faculty member in Indian universities as well as in specific domains such as in engineering. Recently, which port has received license from the government to operate as a transshipment port? Ennore Port, Visakhapatnam Port, Paradip Port or Vizhinjam Port? It is Vizhinjam Port. Vizhinjam Port is in Kerala and it has granted the license to operate as a transshipment port. It is under Adani Port. And transshipment ports, let me tell you in simple words, when big ships from international markets, which are very very actually big ships, comes to nearby areas, nearby coastal areas, they are unloaded into smaller ships. Suppose this is cargo, they are unloaded in multiple smaller ships, and they can further take it away to the actual regional places where they are required. For example, it has goods of multiple types, so when they are unloaded into the smaller ships, they can efficiently take to the nearest port, nearest coastal areas where they can be transported back and all over the country. So this increases efficiency. It increases ports capacity to handle large amount of cargoes in efficient manner, which increases the economic development of the region as well as of the port, as well as it increases employment opportunities, as lots of the large ship will be there for unloading, and this will be increasing gaining employment. Vizhinjam port is a Adani port, and it is in Kerala, and it has recently granted the transshipment port license. It will be used as intermediate stop where the large ship unload the cargoes to smaller ships. India's nuclear titan book has been authored by Soumya Awasthi और Sharbana Barua, Mukesh Dinkar, Rakesh Saini और Pankaj Awasthi. It is Soumya Awasthi and Sharbana Barua. Both writers have written this book of India's nuclear titans, and it tells about how India became nuclear state. It highlights and tells in each step of the journey of India becoming the nuclear state. India has conducted first nuclear test in 1974 and second test at 1998 at Pokhran in Rajasthan. The nuclear test code name was Smiling Buddha, and this book documents, tells about all those events in history about India's nuclear test. Homi Jahangir Bhabha is known as father of India's nuclear program, and there is a Bhabha Atomic Research Center, also known as BARC, is in Mumbai in Maharashtra. Homi Jahangir Bhabha is father of nuclear program. In a similar manner, Vikram Sarabhai is father of India's space program. So once again, please remember these names. Soumya Awasthi and Sharbana Barua has written the book, authored the book named India's Nuclear Titans. 26th World Energy Congress is being held in which country? United Kingdom, Switzerland, New York or Netherlands? It is Netherlands. Basically in Rotterdam city in Netherlands, 26th World Energy Congress is being held. Redesigning energy for people and planet. So World Energy Congress is being held in Netherlands, and theme is redesigning energy for people and planet. Who has been reappointed as MD and CEO of Axis Bank? Atul Kumar, Amitabh Chaudhary, Manoj Joshi or Ritu Singh? It is Amitabh Chaudhary. Amitabh Chaudhary has been reappointed as MD and CEO of Axis Bank. Recently, Axis Bank has also become the fourth largest bank, surpassing Kotak Mahindra Bank. First one is SBI. Second one is HDFC. Third one is ICICI. And fourth one is now Axis Bank, which is the fourth largest bank in India. And it has recently surpassed Kotak Mahindra Bank, which was earlier at 4th position. Now Axis Bank is at 4th position. International Day of Multilateralism and Diplomacy for Peace is observed on 20 April, 21st, 22nd or 24th. It is observed on 24th April. It is established by United Nations, and purpose is to reaffirm UN Charter to resolve conflicts peacefully. The purpose of International Day of Multilateralism and Diplomacy. So basically, it is observed on 24th April, and it focuses on resolving dispute peacefully. Multilateralism, here is the word, and it means where multiple countries come together and achieve peace through diplomacy. So it is called multilateralism. Please remember, this is a very important word and is often mentioned in newspapers these days. WHO, World Health Organization's annual World Immunization Week has taken place from 24th to 30 April, 1 to 7 May, 15 to 22nd April or 23rd to 30th May. It is 24th to 30th April. annual World Immunization Week. The theme is Humanly Possible Immunization for All. Humanly Possible Immunization for All. This is the theme of World Immunization Week, which is held at 24th to 30th April. As presently, it is now ongoing. It is to raise awareness and increase awareness about immunization. As we know, multiple diseases are spread all over the world, and immunization is a way to prevent them. WHO's Immunization Week is a way to raise awareness about immunization, to increase immunization in developing countries and countries who are suffering from various diseases. Has invoked peace clause for 5th time at WTO for rice, wheat, oil or millets. It is rice. So India has invoked peace clause. What is peace clause? Actually, World Trade Organization has given certain percent of subsidy which has not to be surpassed, not to be exceeded. So India has given 10% subsidy of rice, and recently it has exceeded it to 12% of total rice production. So invoking peace clause prevents nation from being challenged from other member countries, and upon exceeding the rice subsidy of 12% of total production, India has already invoked the peace clause so that it cannot be challenged by other member countries. WTO, which is the only global international body for free trade between nations, its purpose is to increase the free trade, friction-free trade, cooperation among nations, as well as increasing the economic development of nations. By trade, it ensures smooth, free. Its purpose is to establish smooth, free trade and increase economic opportunities. So these were today's current affairs. Let's revise quickly of past. Recently, who has partnered with Airtel Payment Bank to launch UPI switch? So it is, MobiKwik, Razorpay, CCAvenue or BillDesk. It is Razorpay. Razorpay has partnered with Airtel Payment Bank to launch UPI switch. Let me tell you in simple words, as we have discussed this current affair yesterday. UPI switch, suppose this is a bank and this is your payment service provider. It can be PhonePe, Google Pay, PayPal or any UPI payment or any other payment methods. Okay, this is called PSP, and this is your bank. UPI switch will be here, and it will ensure that data is transmitted securely, smooth, lag-free manner, so that UPI transaction takes place at successful level. So Razorpay and Airtel Payment Bank has been given license by RBI to act as a payment switch, and it will ensure that payments are done at faster rate, at successful rate, and in a secure manner. That's how UPI switch works. India's first human space flight mission, named as Gaganyaan, will use which software? It will use Sakhi software. In India's Gaganyaan, there will be 3 astronauts, and the mission is expected to take place by 2085. It will use GSLV Mk3, or its humanized version is also known as HLVM3 rocket. It is joint collaboration between ISRO, DRDO and HAL. Astronauts will go 400 km at height, and duration will be of 7 days. Sakhi software, help astronauts to interact with softwares, interact with these, systems, to record their health, monitor their sleep and various activities. The name of Sakhi full form is Spaceborne Assistant and Knowledge Hub for Crew Interaction. Okay, so this is the name of Sakhi, and Gaganyaan will use this software. So these were today's current affairs. If you have any doubt or any feedback, please let me know in comment section. I will answer your doubts and I will implement your feedback. Please keep learning every day. Even if you don't see results, keep learning every day. Keep building yourself layer by layer, and you will be at top at one day. And do your best every day. Do not get distracted, and have faith in your abilities. Have faith in higher power. Also, if you have enjoyed this session, please consider subscribing to this channel. Please like this video. I will bring you more amazing content in every day in a better manner. I will work hard every day to bring you as much as possible current affairs. And additionally, if you use Twitter or X, you can follow me for CA Interceptor, where we post various current affairs as well as quizzes throughout the day, which will help you in understanding the current affairs in better manner as well as in recalling capabilities. So thank you for joining me. Have a great day.